What's up? Welcome to another video. Making Songbringer. Working on the soundtrack today. And possibly a few different Trello items. Working on maybe refining the new boss or something like that. I'm working on, in particular right now, this Overworld A soundtrack, which is one of the tracks you hear when you defeat a boss. And you'll hear it on the Overworld once, and then it goes back into playing this biomes song. So here's the overall soundtrack. This is about an hour long. You can't really see the whole thing because it's just so many tracks. But here's starting off with the Songbringer theme song, going into the Overworld theme song, level 1, level 2, boss song, level 5, 7, 6, 9, biomes, which is this long ass song you hear on the Overworld. Mini boss, Overworld A, B, L8, which is the ship music. Then the Brain Roar. Then the Songbringer alternate, which is music you hear when you get Vel. And then L3, which is this swordless. And then the intro, which is also the outro. So this has been really fun working on the soundtrack, getting some of these songs refined to the point where they just sound really much better than they did before. And a lot of it has been just focusing on the EQing. Here's like the mini boss song, for example. So this is kind of like an overview of the EQ range. And before I did any work on that track right there, there wasn't quite enough bass, and then there's never really quite enough in the 2K and above range, it seems, when I'm doing these tracks. I always seem to let those go for some reason before. But adding them in, adding in new elements that really brighten up this upper range and deepen up and purify the lower range too, like, taking out anything that will make this muddy, making it real crisp and clear, awesome, strong bass, and a good range of EQ. Basically, that's been my overall process, and it's just really unlocked each song. Each song has really come through really well. So this is really exciting work for me. It's nice, like cherry on top of the cake type work. After working on Songbringer for over 3 years, going back and then refining all this audio to finally release the soundtrack, even though the game's already out. It's just kind of fun. So we'll see if anything comes of it. But yeah. So I'll play this intro as it mixes in as this outro from Mini Boss into Overworld A. Okay, so I've already got my thoughts on this. I've already listened to this track a few times, and I got thoughts. I'm going to work on this a bit. So Overworld A. First of all, I really love this Mini Boss 1 kick, and that's kind of something that's missing here in this Overworld track is the kick. So that's actually, I need to open up Mini Boss. Okay, so this kick I really like is kick 19, C3. Let's incorporate that into the kick. This is the kick instrument. This is the kick. It's like this wavy type kick. Yeah, this one would be good to add. So already got a zone. It's like it's just all it's almost too much. We'll try it anyways. Okay, let's move on to some other thoughts. Alright, let's limit this. I'll fade in the hat a bit first. These other two hats. I think it's time to let go of this hat, old hat. And this unused hat. just make that deactivated so we know it's not used anymore. And this hat I want to fade in a bit. Oh, what? This would totally explain why this isn't sounding any different. I didn't put any velocity on it. Oh. Okay, that's a bit too much, I guess. Too much velocity. We'll see what happens if I double up some of these hats. Okay. Now let's do this other thing where the distorted instrument. Which one was that? This one. Really only gets distorted up here. Okay. Let's just distort a little less. Let's try that. It's a fine line. All right, it's definitely better. Okay, so I'm gonna render these out, give them a listen in their contexts. One thing I just did to improve the kind of maintainability of the song was I had before I had taken Overworld A, the whole this Ableton file, and then saved it as Overworld A soundtrack, and changed its key because the soundtrack key needs to be different so that it has harmonic mixing. Um, but that made things really unmaintainable because as I changed the tracks and optimized the song, refined things and stuff, I was only refining like the soundtrack, not the original version, which I want both of them to be better. You know, I want it to sound better in the game and also sound better for the soundtrack. So to make that more efficient and just able to edit both at once, I just got one copy of the song here in its original key of C sharp, and then one copy of the song over on this side with its key in B. So that makes it a lot easier to manage. I'm happy this work on the soundtrack is kind of going smooth, really fast and smooth at this point. Most of the work on the soundtrack's done, so I'm down to only Overworld A, B, Brain Wars, Songbringer Alt, Intro, Biomes. Those are pretty much the tracks I have to work on. These are just merges. So it's only like 4 or 5 more tracks to finish out of, say, like 20. So we're clipping along. I'll pretty much be done with the soundtrack by the end of the month, which is awesome. It's like a good feeling. Finally have all this sound like really dialed in. And the soundtrack almost ready to go. I'm not sure when it'll get released, but yeah, it'll get released some point. So this version, that's being rendered out now, is the one that gets played in the game. So it's got its melody separated from its rhythm, so that the rhythm can get louder or even disappear completely, depending on whether enemies are present. So some areas of the overworld, you might find some enemies, and the music. I think the music is just louder. It doesn't actually take away the rhythm completely, but it just allows the track to be dynamic, respond to what you're doing as a player. Feels better as a gamer to play a game that has that kind of dynamic audio, responsive audio. I think it's called responsive music or adaptive music. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. They all sound like good enough adjectives to me. So it takes a bit longer for me to render audio and do any kind of work when I'm streaming, because it just eats up CPU. I need to get a newer laptop. This laptop's from 2013. It's 2018 already. I can't believe this laptop is still kicking it, man. This is 5 years old. Well, 4 years old, pretty much. This is a late 2013 model. You're still good, Lappy. That's my alarm to stand up. Kick, snare, hi-hat, yes. Rhythm. Okay. Stand up. Oh yeah. All right, let's get another 30-minute timer going. Okay, let's hear how these turned out. Build the Fmod project. All right, let's hear that in the game. Whoops. Start over. Ah, man. This song is so much more soothing. With its highs just dialed in, that the EQ range is so much better. It's got a soothing element to it. Satisfying. Just noticed a bug there. Damn it. It's always weird when you got one flow going and you're like, whoops, there's a bug. It's like most of the time it's best to just note the bug, fix it later. Okay, let's hear it. It sounded really good. I liked it. The thing I was kind of paying attention to most was the hi-hats. Trying to keep them from being too noticeable. Let's hear them in the soundtrack, see if how they're sounding. the hi-hat needs to come down like 1.5 to 2 decibels, slightly. It's just slightly too noticeable in parts. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter how it isn't used. Okay, kick, snare, hat, hiss. Cool. Okay, let's get this set up so we can fix this other bug here. Hmm. Oh, maybe it's because they're standing at the top. Yeah, that's it. Boom. Okay. Bombable 1. Oh, it's easier fixing it. I would think it would be. Bombable 1 just needs same area. Same with this one here. Okay, we'll need to test that out. There we go. Got Bombable 1, but it's not going to play until we get back here, and we're at good height. That's awesome. Okay, let's hear that. Let's test that out in the game. I'll test it one more time here with without standing up at the top. Cool. And there's an area we can test this out in this one. But first, okay, good. Okay, good enough. Oops. Don't want to commit everything, just data game story. Okay. Let's start one more time, hearing this music. Listen to the hats. Sound good? Goodness, I like it. Okay, so there we are. We're done working on Overworld A track. Totally refined. Loving that upper duplicate of that key sound, and this other one sound that's also kind of filling up that upper range. Really good. Really smooths out. Makes that song more satisfying. So okay, we're done with live for now. Let's check in. Awesome. It's a good feeling. It's only like a few more tracks to finish on the soundtrack. Yeah. Okay, so a little segue. How much time we got left at this time? 8 minutes. I can at least get set up for this. Make Ren meditate and glow. A little more, make it more obvious when he goes into his last meditation. That's a 0, 3, negative 32, I think. It's amazing I can remember this stuff. I'm so smart. What do I need here? No, doesn't matter if I parry. I should not parry though. Oh, I want to hack up foes I tech, so just jump straight into this battle. Nice. Okay. All we gotta do is make him float and glow, and if you hit him, he's... does the parry thing. Make it more obvious that you're supposed to meditate. Okay, let's get that animation opened up. say this is a different animation so it doesn't get confused with the other ones, because I know he uses this meditate in other places too. This animation. Best to just have it separate. Probably need a couple more frames. Now, one is cloak to drape on the ground while he's floating. This one is lowest. This one, cloak. Wait, does he ever use 2 copy? Let's just do this. And the timer goes off. Okay. Gonna tear myself away from this for a second. Come back to it for a few more minutes in the stream. right, 10 more minutes. Okay, let's make them glow a bit. Okay, so now we just want change the opacity of these. Make this one like 30 there, 50 here, 70, 100, 70, 50. Kind of want these to be brighter. Why isn't it? That one's 50. I thought that was supposed to be 100. Yeah, this one's supposed to be 100. 70, 0, 70, 50, 30. Okay, maybe this one could be 90. Okay, I might want this to be more like a white color, but for now, let's see how that looks. She's shadow, right? Good, okay. Let's get that rendered out better. Okay. So I just want to make a. I'm probably just gonna play around with his the brightness there and the timing of his glow, and then make it also so you know, when you hit him, he makes this sort of parry sounds like he's more invincible. And that's it. So that's it for this stream. Thanks for watching. Looks like maybe my chat was broken or something, or maybe just nobody's chatting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you all next time. Appreciate you.